today we are going to be going over some review notes. These are to help you for your quiz coming up on Monday over sections 4.4 through 4.7. Let's look at the first one. It says to write the word sentence as an inequality. Remember, an inequality just means that we're going to have some kind of an inequality symbol. All right? So, who can help me with the first one, A? A number y is at least 5. Zion, what should I write?
Y is greater than or equal to 5.
Okay. This right here, these words at least. There was a section in your notes, and I want you guys to write this down, 4.4, and just put a little cloud around that to remind you. If you struggle with trying to remember or figure out that at least is always going to be greater than or equal to, go to 4.4, try to review and go over those different symbols to see what words go with them every time. But this is correct, okay? It could be exactly 5, and the least it can be is 5, so it has to be greater than. Very good. Thank you, Zion. Who would like to do problem B for me? All right, Zariana, go ahead.
2x is greater than or greater than or equal to negative 4.
Okay, so twice a number x is written as 2x. Very good. We know that negative 4 is the number that we need to write. The hardest part is this, no less than. If it's no less than, that means it's not less than. Therefore, if it's not less than, it has to be greater than. And then all you do is you try to ask yourself, could it equal exactly negative 4? And the answer would be yes. Any questions about that section? All right, let's go on to the next one. Gerard, tell whether negative 2 is a solution to the inequality. I want everyone to take your red pen and circle where it says negative 2. There you can see in parentheses, I say, plug it in, plug it in. We did a lot of this back in chapter 1 where we plugged in numbers, okay? So Gerard, instead of a C, what are you going to plug in? A negative 2. Everybody plug that in directly underneath it. Drop down everything else directly below it. Now, Gerard, you're just going to work on that left part that's not answered yet. What is negative 2 plus 5? Okay, he says negative 3. Here's the deal. Gerard, do we have same sign or different sign? Same sign, add and keep. Different signs, subtract, and take the sign of the larger number. So what should the answer be? Positive 3. Okay, so now this is what this says. 3 is less than or equal to 3. Gerard, yes if that's true, no if it's not true. Yes, it is. So the correct answer is yes. That is a solution to the inequality. Very good job. Let's go on to the next one. Addison, plug it in, plug it in. What should I plug in for the M? Very good. Negative 2 minus 5 is greater than or equal to negative 5. Let's work from left to right. Addison, what is negative 2 minus 5? Same sign or different sign? Same sign, add and keep. Add the numbers, keep the sign. Negative 7. All right, now what I tell a lot of people whenever they are working on a quiz or a test, sometimes it might be helpful to make yourself a little number line, okay? So obviously as these numbers get further away from 0, they are getting smaller. So here's my question. Addison, is this a true statement or is this not a true statement? Negative 7, it says, is greater than negative 5. Addison, is that true? Yes or no? No, that is not. Therefore, this is not a solution to this problem. All right, moving on to the next one. Solve the inequality and graph the solution. Adam, identify the variable.
X.
What is not allowing x to be alone?
Subtract by 10.
Subtract by 10. How do I get rid of subtract by 10?
Add by 10.
I have to add by 10 on both sides. Negative 10 and positive 10 will cancel out. On the left, all I'm left with is that x. Remember, you want to drop down your inequality symbol directly below is greater than. Now, Adam, if you would focus on this, what is negative 12 plus 10?
Negative 2.
Negative 2. Okay, so you think about our signs. These were different signs, so we have to subtract and take the sign of the larger number. All right, so that is our answer right there, and it has asked us to graph it. Who would like to come to the board to graph it for me, please? Haylin, go ahead. All right, so as I look to see what he did, he does have three numbers here. -2's in the middle. To the left is -3. To the right is -1. He says it was an open circle. Do you agree or disagree? Agree. Why, Haylin, did you keep that as an open circle?
Because it's
Who can help him out? Why did he do an open circle, Zion?
Because it's not greater than or equal to.
It's not an equal to sign, okay? Which is saying -2 could not be plugged in up here and say -2 is greater than -2. That would not be truthful, okay? So, thank you. Then he says all solutions are greater than. Do you agree or disagree with the way he put his arrow?
Agree.
I also agree. Remember, another great way to tell, double check, this looks like a greater than sign, and this is a greater than sign. So very good job, Haylin. Thank you for helping us with that problem. Let's go on to the next one. Lexi, what is wrong with problem B that we have to fix before we can get started on the problem?
The variable.
You are correct. The variable is over here on the right side, so we want to switch that. Lexi, what would it be switched to if I switched the order?
X over 3 is less than -5.
Excellent. Lexi, keep going. How do I get x by itself?
Multiply it by 3.
Okay, very good. We have to multiply by 3 on both sides. Remember, you show me multiply by 3 in parentheses. Okay, keep going, Lexi.
The fraction cancels out and you get x, and then -5 times 3 is -15.
Okay, very good. It is -15. Lexi, do I need to switch the sign?
No.
No. Remember, the only time you switch the sign is if the last thing you did was multiply or divide by a negative number on both sides. In this case, it was by a positive number, so this is the correct answer. Okay, as we're graphing it, what number goes in the middle, class? -15. What is one smaller than -15? -16. Therefore, one bigger would be -14. Anson, is this an open or a closed circle? It is an open circle. And Anson, should the arrow go to the left or the right? It should go to the left because it says all solutions are less than -15. Kaylin, help me with problem C. What do I need to do with that 3? Distribute it. Very good. Everyone take your red pen. I want you to underline that number 3. And the way you show me that you understand it needs to get distributed is just by putting those little arrows right there. Kaylin, what is 3 times x? 3x. What should I do next?
3 times -2, which is -6.
Excellent. Okay, so she remembered you also have to multiply it by whatever sign is in front of it. So very good job. Then we're just going to drop down our symbol and that 18. Kaylin, what do I do next?
3 divided by 3x.
Okay. She says divide it by 3. Here's the deal. We learned about best friends. Those two are best friends. Remember, you never want to multiply or divide first if you can add or subtract first.
Add by 6 on both sides.
Very good.
Then that cancels out, and 3x is greater than or equal to 24.
24 is correct. Keep going.
And then now can I divide by 3
Okay, now you want to divide by 3.
on both sides, and then we get x is greater than or equal to 6.
What's 24 divided by 3?
Oh, man, I'm tripping. 8.
Okay, very good. 8.
Yeah.
All right, so remember, always ask yourself at the end, should I flip the symbol? Should I? Yes or no, class?
No.
No, the last thing I did was divide by a positive number on both sides, so I do not need to flip the symbol, and this will be my final answer. Who would like to come to the board to graph it? Kyla, come on up. All right, so she's got her 3 numbers. Class, do you know why 6 was afraid of 7?
Because 7, 8, 9.
because 7, 8, 9. Look at our graph right there. Okay, fantastic. She says closed circle, which I agree with because there's an equal sign. And then she said all solutions are greater than. Do we agree or disagree with the way she put her arrow? I also agree. Very good. Because if I wanted to, I could come here, since this is shaded in, and plug in the number 9. Is this a true statement? 9 is greater than or equal to 8?
Yes.
Yes. And all the numbers to the right could be plugged in, and that would be correct. All right. Great job, Kyla. Thank you very much. Let's go on to the next one. Who will help me do this problem? Christopher, what's wrong with it?
It's the wrong way.
It is the wrong way. So tell us what you're going to rewrite so that it's the right way.
Negative 2x, subtracted by 6, greater than or equal to 2.
Okay, I want to just point out he flipped his sign along with flipping the order of everything else. Excellent work, Christopher. Keep going.
And add by 6 on both sides. Get rid of 6. Then we drop down our sign, and 10 plus 6 is 16. And then we drop down negative 2x. And we subtract by negative 2 on both sides.
Okay, remind me, we're not going to subtract by negative 2.
Divide by negative 2.
Okay, because right there, remember when a number is next to a letter, you always want to multiply. So then, here's what I also want to point out. He said to divide by negative 2. This is where a lot of people have been having struggles. Look, if you are multiplying by a negative 2, you need to divide by that exact same number. Okay, go ahead and keep going.
Negative 16 divided by negative 2 is negative 8.
Very good. Do I need to flip the sign?
Yes.
Why?
Because you lost you lost divided by negative 1.
Very good. The last thing I did was divide by negative 2 on both sides. So we're going to rewrite it. Don't just erase it, but actually rewrite it and then box in your answer. Okay, let's graph this one together. Who would like to graph it for me? Christopher, come on up. Okay, so let's see what he did. He says it's a closed circle. Do we agree or disagree? I also agree there is an equal sign, so very good job. And then his arrow says all solutions are less than negative 8. Is this correct? It is correct. Thank you, Christopher. Great work. All right, let's move on to the next section. If you would, please flip to the back side. This says to write an inequality that would represent the graph. If you remember, first things first, we always put our variable. What variable are we going to write? X, okay? The next thing we do is we put the number that the circle is on. Halen, what number is the circle on?
Negative 2.
Negative 2. Now, the hardest part is trying to figure out what the symbol is. First things first, this is an open circle. Does that say it can equal negative 2 or that it cannot equal negative 2? An open circle says it cannot, so we're not going to have an equal to sign. But if you look here, are all of these solutions greater than or less than negative 2?
Greater than.
Those are greater than. So what does my symbol have to be?
Greater than.
It has to be greater than. So this is the correct answer. You guys do problem B on your own. All right, class, you guys did it on your own. Read to me what your new inequality says. X is negative 9. Make sure you keep that negative in there. That is correct. You guys may have a seat. All right, for the next one, it says to write and graph an inequality to represent the situation. You must jog for at least 4 miles. So imagine you go to PE today. The PE teacher says, despite the rain, I need you guys to get out there and you must jog for at least 4 miles. All right? The first thing we're going to start for every time is our variable. What will we write for our variable? We'll write an X, okay? You could put anything. You could put J for jogging, but we'll just put an X. Next, at least 4 miles. So we're going to write down 4 miles. The hardest part is figuring out this word right here. If you know it, many people are like, oh yeah, I know that. If you know it, write it down. If you don't, and you're one who likes to memorize things so that you're going to know every time you see something that says at least, that's going to be in section 4.4. Just write that off to the side so that you know you could go back and look at that if you want to. There's a little box at the top that I told you. Okay, but if not, let's just try to reason and see. If the PE teacher says you must jog at least 4 miles, Would the PE teacher let you run or jog exactly 4 miles? Yes, so we know there's going to be an equal to sign. Would that PE teacher be happy if you ran less than 4 miles? No. So what does it have to be? Greater than or equal to. Okay, so all solutions. Anything else? Could I plug in a 5 and have 5 miles there? Yeah, I could. Would your PE teacher be pleased if I plugged in a 1 right there? No. And as you can see, 1 is not greater than or equal to 4 miles. I want you guys to try to do problem B on your own. Let's see what you got. Who would be willing to share what you came up with? Aubrey, what did you get?
X is at most or equal to negative 315.
Okay, so what did you write for your symbol?
X.
Okay, X is what?
Less than or equal to negative 315 meters.
Okay. How many of you would say you got that same exact thing? All right, the most it could be is negative 350, which means everything else has to be less than that you plug in. All right, so now we're going to go back and graph these. Let's go to the first one up here. Just the girls. What number should go in the middle?
4.
4. Okay, to the left would be 3, to the right would be 5. Ladies, is this an open or a closed circle? Closed circle because it could be exactly 4 miles. And Kaylin, where should it go? It is going to go to the right because all solutions are greater than 4. All right, boys. What number should I put in the middle for the second problem? Negative 350. Which one smaller? Negative 351. What's one bigger? Very good. Boys, should this be an open or a closed circle? It is closed because it could equal exactly negative 350. And boys, is it to the left or to the right?
To the left.
To the left because all solutions are less than, and anything to the left is always going less than on our number line. All right, for the next modeling real life, this says you earn $10 per hour at your summer job. I always want you to be looking for some keywords. So if I could have everyone please underline with your red pen per hour. Write and solve an inequality that represents the number of hours that you must work to earn enough money to buy a phone that costs $840. Interpret what the solution means in a complete sentence. Does anyone know how to write $10 per hour when writing an inequality? Very good, 10H, okay? That means per hour. 1 hour, you would get $10. 10 times 2, you would get $20. If I plugged in a 3, 10 times 3, you would get $30. So that's why 10 times H is a good representation of $10 per hour, since we don't know how many hours you worked yet. Next up, how much money are you trying to earn? $840. That's our goal, to get to $840. If you earn exactly $840, could you buy that phone? Yes, so we know it's going to be equal to. If you earned less than $840, could you buy it? No. So what does the symbol have to be? Greater than or equal to. Anson, how do I get H by itself? Divide by 10 on both sides. All right, this cancels out, and I'm left with H is greater than or equal to. Guys, what's 840 divided by 10? 84 what?
8 hours.
Hours. Guys, we're trying to learn hours here. So here's what it says. Interpret what the solution means in a complete sentence. So the answer is not you must work exactly 84 hours. Who can tell me what it would be? Kyla.
You can work 84 hours or more.
Very good. Okay, she says you must work 84 hours or more. Very good. How else could I write that?
You must work at least 84 hours.
Okay, you could also say you must work at least 84 hours in order to get that phone. Either one would be fine, but all you have to do is on your quiz or a test, you'll have to do this too. Write a sentence explaining what in the world does that mean. All right, problem B. Each day at lunch, at least 75 people buy French fries. Write and graph an inequality that represents the situation. Okay, with an inequality, we will always start with a variable. We know the number that we're looking for is going to be 75 people. Hardest part, at least 75 people. Class, could it be exactly 75 people buy French fries? Yes. Could it be more than 75 people do? Yes, so it has to be a greater than. Raise your hand if you got that same exact thing. Excellent. So now we've got our graph. Kaylin, you may come on up and graph it. Okay, so she says it is a closed circle and that all solutions should go to the right. Do we agree or disagree? Okay, listen, if I kept going on and on and on forever, I'd eventually get to 100. Could I plug in that 100 people got French fries, and would that make sense? All right, then this is correct, okay? Class, these notes should really help you for your quiz coming up on Monday.